Okay, Darren, first of all, you say you were in the market for a new striker, on the lookout, always obviously looking to strengthen your squad.
Yeah.
Is there any updates on that situation? Are you able to give us any updates?
Yeah, we've got one here now that's just completing a medical, another loan signing. So we're pretty excited about it. I've waited for this individual. So, you know, it's been it was nice to get a phone call yesterday to say we were good to go. And yeah, once he passes his medical, I don't want to jinx it. So, and I don't want to put anyone in an awkward position. But once that medical's finished, we'll happily announce who that player is.
Yeah, how important was it from your point of view to get somebody in, obviously, you know, as soon as possible?
Well, from a team that normally likes to play a front two, to only have two is, you know, it's not enough. It's never gonna last. So, ideally, you know, you want four, don't you? It's always kind of the number that most coaches and managers go for in their front players, is that you want double. So ideally four, but we're very happy with this one because we think he's going to have a real impact on the starting 11.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you assess the season in the early days? Of course, after your first two games, now you've had a couple of days to look back on the results. How do you assess the start?
Well, I think I look at it in two ways. I look at the actual and then I take the subjective. The actual is I'm really happy because of the subjective with 2 points. I'm really happy with 2 draws, and it's probably testament to our character that we've got 2 draws. I think my opinion of the first 2 performances is that we've been bloody useless, and we're going to have to play a lot better. And you know, and the team knows that we've not really found that flow yet. Listen, it may take another 3 or 4 games. I don't know. It's a long old season. I mean, we're only 2 in, but you know, everyone knows I'm pretty transparent when I've got an opinion, and I think we've played poorly. I think there's some individuals within that have played very, very well and have hit form really early. You know, Adam Smith's been a magnificent for the first couple of games. So I'm really pleased with that. I'm really pleased to see such a key position hitting form very early. And that'll be good for Adam, because it's been a while since probably someone said something nice about him. But he's played wonderfully well in the first couple of games, so that's pleasing. And there are a few others. There are a couple of others, but we know that we've got to increase our performance levels, you know, throughout the course of the season.
Yeah, and the first win's always the toughest one to find, I suppose, isn't it, in any season? But once that comes along, things can get rolling pretty quickly, I would imagine. That's the best way of looking at it, isn't it? Important to find that first win as soon as you can.
They're all hard. Any win is so hard fought and hard earned. They're all tough. You know what? While we're not playing well, to be picking up points while we're not playing well is I'm okay with that outcome. I'm not okay with the performance that leads to that outcome, but I think there've been some big moments early on. I think there's been some good development of certain individuals, especially new ones. You know, look at Leadbitter's moment last night with a minute to go. I saw it's a big moment for him. It's a big moment for our supporters to see his capabilities. I mean, what pace to get back in. I mean, I think he was at 20 metres behind the lad when it started, and to get back the right side and make such a clean tackle, I mean, that's a huge moment, and we're going to need those moments. You know, we're going to need. It doesn't matter who we're playing. It doesn't matter if they're full-time, part-time, newly promoted, finished mid-table last year. It's a new season. None of that matters. I think they're huge moments, and I think that will, again, for Daniel, that will give him a lot of belief.
Wrexham are next up. What sort of a game are you expecting from them?
Well, last year I remember, you know, obviously the pre-conferences, press conferences before the games last year, and this is one of the games where you're playing against a real proper football club, you know, a real traditional football club, and it was one of the games last year coming into this league for the first time in my career that I was very much looking forward to, and I think the same again. You know, they're a good side and they're a good club, and it'll be a very, very tough game. a very tough game, and they've played well in their first 2 games. They're my beliefs and my opinions, and we know that if our current performance levels are going to be replicated on Saturday, we'll probably get beat. So we know we're going to have to improve and play a little bit better and hopefully get that win.
Yeah, you say they're a big side. I guess that's highlighted by the Hollywood interest in the club, isn't it, that they've had of recent times as well. So in terms of this level, there are some big teams in this level. They'd be right up there, you think, in terms of size of club at least?
Well, I know the manager let a lot of players go at the end of last year, but he signed an awful lot of players this year, and he signed some very good players. And not just, you can't really say the majority of them are for this division. I think a lot of them are geared and intended for the league above. So that shows purpose and resource in itself. But it's a big club. It's a big club. I loved going there last year. I thought it was a wonderful place to go and play football. We had a good game. It was 9 goals over the 2 games last year. So, if history is anything to go by, it'll be a pretty offensive game on Saturday. But I think it's a really good football club, and one of the games I look forward to contending.
Yeah. Do you know the manager personally?
No, not really. Our paths have crossed like most things in football. Football's quite a small fraternity of people. So our paths have crossed. He's always been, very, very professional, and his teams are always, well coached, and you can see there's a practice element to their play. So, he's a proper football man. He's done well in his managerial stint so far.
Yeah, and just finally from me, Darren, how are the team looking for the weekend?
Battered and bruised. We're tight and tired today, I've got to say. After Saturday and Tuesday, the 15-hour round trip on Saturday didn't help, but that's a few days away now, so all gone. So now we've got to focus on what's happening, but we've got a few that need another day. We're still not sure about Albi. Leadbitter's struggling, Worthington's struggling, Courtney is reported struggling, so I think Lawson as well. So there's a few that we're probably going to have to give another 24 hours to, but that's not a problem. They know how we play. It's not a huge travesty if they miss training but are available for the game, because that's the important thing. But we'll certainly attack it. They were very frustrated Tuesday, as I was, disappointed in themselves for the second goal they conceded. But this group is a relentless group, and it's a group of a lot of character, and a group that has a lot of humility, and they know we need to get back to work today and try and prepare for a good performance Saturday.
Yeah, good luck, Darren. Thanks for your time.
Top man.
Hi, Darren.
Hi, hey. I'm good, mate. You?
Yeah, not too bad. A bit croaky, but not too bad.
Stay away from us.
Let's go now.
Self-isolate.
First of all, 2 draws. 2 draws. You obviously expressed your feelings with regard to the team just now, but I mean, do you feel disappointed that you've only got 2 draws, or is that a plus point from your perspective?
No, I think from the fact of the performances, I think it's a plus. I really do, because we're going to need character. You need character, and the big thing when I took this job was I felt the football club lacked real character in its playing staff, and we've managed to recruit some big characters, and I think character is the reason why we've got points. I really do. That, and some parts of our play have been good and have bore fruit, but I think the character element of it has been the biggest reason why we've taken the points we've taken, and we haven't been beat.
Yeah.
And no one's really opened us up with chances in open play. We're disappointed with the goals we conceded, but I've got to say on another front, we've had 2 really, really tough decisions given against us that could quite have easily been the reason why we had 6 points, not 2 points, and still have played quite mediocre or poorly. But obviously we wouldn't then be speaking about a mediocre or poor performance, because there'd have been 6 there'd have been 6 points on the board. But that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, and it's far too early for me to start moaning about refs. I mean, I'll be moaning about them for 10 months if I start now. So, we'll just keep going. But they've shown some good character so far. Some good character, some bad bits, and and some other good bits. But we'll keep going. It's a long time yet.
You mentioned the word character, and certainly missing Albie Scandi. He's very much a character, isn't he? Do you think that's being made obvious that he's not around?
I think Albie brings, like all of our players, he brings a certain set of attributes to us, and those attributes are pretty consistent wherever we kind of place him on the pitch. And have we missed some of his attributes? 100%, completely. And he got himself into a position by the end of last season as being an important player for us. But that's going to, with such a small squad and without the capability of doubling up in every position with experience and accomplished players, we're going to have to learn how to play different ways at times. And it has, it does seem to have thrown us a little bit, not having his qualities there. But that's going to happen through the season. What's going to happen when Wilkinson's qualities are not there? So I might not get out of bed that day.
What do you make of the recent criticism of Rhys Murphy from supporters? Do you think that was one of his inspirations behind the immediate impact he made on Tuesday night?
I think it showed probably for the first time a real negative aspect to our supporters. How they can criticise someone who has been such a huge part of our play because of one game this season, or games after Christmas. We can't support our players in that way, because the thing is now with I'm guessing we're talking about social media and things like that, but the thing is with social media is the only voice our supporters have right now, because they can't come in the ground and sing, they can't come in the ground and boo, they can't come in the ground and clap. So the only voice they have really is on social media platforms. And let me tell you, people see what supporters are saying on social media. Of course they do. They're human beings. They seek it and they receive it in exactly the same way as everyone else does. And that's a huge point for me, because we have to be careful with what we say about our players, because that negativity is the only negativity that reverberates now into our players, because again, they're not physically present in any games. So we have to support our group. We're a very small group, we're a very family orientated group, we're a very together group. And Rhys for me has been if not the one of the biggest elements to our incline in expectation, or ascent in expectation. And we should be applauding Rhys Murphy. I thought it was wonderful when he come on. Absolutely wonderful. He looked reinvigorated. He looked fresher from not having to play the whole game. He missed a huge chunk of pre-season. And, he's a massive, massive part of my team. A huge part. And I think I think when we went into lockdown, I actually thought the world got a little bit nicer to each other for a short spell. And we need to remember that we need to be kinder, especially using social media, because of the negative effects. The negative effects. If you want to have a go at if any of our supporters want to have a go at anyone, you can have a go at me anytime. I don't read any of it. I don't even hear it. So write what you like about me. You can absolutely shout until the cows come home about me. Even if I did see it, I don't really care. I don't really care. If you've got nothing nice to say to someone, don't say it. That's how I was brought up. So, I think we need to be really careful with that, because, because we haven't won both games by 3 clear goals and he hasn't scored in them, or played well, or his touches, or whatever, he's tackling. 2 games in, we're talking about a hugely influential player in our football club, and we're talking about a very, very nice man, family man who's got kids, a partner, all of those normal things. So, I think we, I feel, as you can probably tell, I feel quite strongly about that. And I'm not saying we've got to sugarcoat everything we say about our players, but I think we need to be a little bit more intelligent with our use of words and the way we present them to people that we hope do really, really well for our football club, so that we can go and play in a higher league.
Do you think it was unfortunate the fact that the two teams you had to play in the first two games were both the promoted teams into the National League, and obviously, you know, they were going to start on fire because it was their big day, wasn't it? You know, do you think that was unfortunate that you got two of them in a row?
Nah, I think, look, I'm a big believer in looking after ourselves and concentrating on what Yeovil does and the performance levels at Yeovil. That's my big, it takes the majority of my time and thought process up. So we haven't played very well. How many more times in the season are you going to hear me say that? There's probably 50-50 with how well we have played. We're going to play really well some weeks and get beat. We're going to play really badly some weeks and win 3 or 4-0. So, no, we've got to play everyone. I think whether you get them now or later on is absolutely irrelevant. But, you know, let's look at ourselves, let's concentrate on us, and let's focus on what we have, not what we haven't or what we have not provided or given yet. Let's really focus on what we have.
You raved about your signing of Josh Staunton before the season got started, and he certainly seems to be repaying that on the field.
No, he's a good player. He's a very, very good player. He, again, you can see what I was saying before. When we signed him, that he had, again, similar to Albie and Charlie, he's got a certain set of characteristics and attributes that no matter where I place him, you know, he gives us those qualities. And I've already played him in 2 different positions in 2 games, and even though I thought he looked tired Tuesday, you know, it is a different kettle of fish when you play for Yeovil from other clubs. One, the expectation and the pressure, because we're expected to win, we're expected to play well and win, and a massive thing is the travel. It's a huge part that people don't understand until they're with us. So, you know, he's adapting still, and he's going to adapt, but Josh has got another 22 months with us, so he's got plenty of time to settle and find real top form.
Do you think the team has reached its sort of fitness level that you require from them now?
I think it's really case by case. I think some of the senior players need longer. I always felt that you needed 6, 7, 8 games in your legs before you felt kind of match ready, hardened, can take a knock, can get up, can carry on, you can recover Saturday to Tuesday. I think you can do that. And in our pre-season schedule, I was so petrified with anyone getting injured that we did hold back on them a little bit tighter than I normally would, because we had no replacement coming in or chance of replacing any of them. So, you know, I was quite cautious with them in pre-season. So that might slow down how quickly we become optimal. But I think some of them are there, definitely. I mean, look, I think it's the fittest I've seen Courtney for a while. Since I've been at the club, I think Dickinson has reached it quicker than I thought. Wilkinson's reached it quicker than I thought, but I think there's others that miss chunks of pre-season, weeks, days, that are still finding their feet. Adam Smith is physically looking very, very astute. So I think it's case by case aid on that one.
You reeled off a few names earlier about fitness stats for Saturday. I mean, how many of them do you think you're going to be, if you had to really put your leg on the line now, do you think you'll hit?
Trying to remember who I said. Albie will be touch and go, will be 50-50. Lawson, I think, will be okay by Saturday. I think Ledbetter might be okay, but it will be a late call. Worthington, I think, will be okay. Courtney, I'm not sure. Who else did I say?
That's probably the lot, I think.
Lawson Diaz.
Yeah, I
You
think
mentioned him.
yeah, I think Norse will be all right. I think, but you know, they all might be late calls. It would all be day to day. It'll all be a day to day thing. So
And finally, for me, the club streamed the game on Tuesday night, and I thought the results were really good. The picture quality was great. You know, are you pleased about that? Because at least you're getting the supporters are getting to see you anyway, and nothing else.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no. I think it's what Scott's done behind the scenes, and you know, in general through this period has been excellent leadership and guidance, and you know, he's very clear and concise with our supporters, and that's all you can ask for, can't you? Is to, you know, as a supporter, to kind of know the inner feelings and thoughts of the business owner, and I think he's. I hope this comes across right, but I think he's carried himself in a real authentic and authoritative way. So even things like, you know, being able to bring in another player and making sure it's right. And I've said to him on a couple of occasions, it's got to be right. It has to be right. If we buy cheap, we buy twice. So let's get it right the first time, and really try and improve our football team. So I think now that we're starting to get there, and we're not, you know, I don't know his thoughts on this, but I don't think we're finished in terms of what we need. I still think we're going to need 2 or 3 more. Might have to be incrementally acquired, but is that a word, incrementally? Have I just made up a word?
I don't know. I've heard of increments. I must admit, I don't know about incrementally.
But yeah, I think it's great that they can see the games. We'd love them here. I actually think Tuesday. Actually, Terry made the point Tuesday that when we went 2-1 up, I think the ground would have got rocking. I think the ground would have been rocking again Tuesday night under the lights, coming from behind, big powerful header by a big powerful player for us, and I think that would have been their support. That would have been a turning point. Not just for us, but I think, you know, these Wildstone would never have experienced a ground like this. Some of the players, some would, of course. And I think that would have been, you know, it's an intimidating place when you come here. I've come here as an opposition manager. You know, it's not sunshine and roses when you're standing in the opposite dugout, that's for sure. I got called a few things then. I get called a few things now, but that's by the by. But I think that would have made a big difference to us, and when Terry suggested it, I thought, no, I agree fully.
Just finally, one final thing. Do you see any move government-wise, or any sort of hints that they might be, you know, easing the restrictions a little bit on fans coming in?
I think we can only go off what we know in terms of what the government have provided, which is funding for 3 months. So if you're looking into that, I guess you kind of half thinking, well, if the money runs out in January, I think January might be an ETA on fans potentially coming back in, because if they don't come back in January, government have got to get their hand in their pocket again, and if they don't come in by March, they've got to go again. So I'm not sure that would be ideal for them, another 10 million, but we'll have to wait and see. But I'm missing them already. There's a couple of people that sit behind me, and during the course of the game I seek a bit of solace in having a chat with a couple of the supporters. There's a lovely chap that sits behind me, and I think I spoke to him last season more than I spoke to my wife. So he's you know, stuff like that I really miss. But you know, they are a huge boost for us when they're in the ground. Huge boost. So you know, I'm missing them dearly. But when we get that first game where they get in the ground and the Thatcher's End is full again, and we can get that win and that song going, that'll be a big moment for us all.